Good afternoon, Holmes Road Church of Christ. I hope you're having a great day in the Lord and great Wednesday afternoon. Just bringing a little devotional thought to you to help you keep going along your way. When I was a youth minister back in Corpus Christi, Texas, I was on a church softball team. We had a church softball team back then, and it was a lot of fun. We competed in this little community league. We weren't the champions by any means, but we won more games than we lost, and we had a good time. One of my best buddies on the team, he played left field. I was a first base. I played the first baseman for the team, and I remember one particular game. This big old fella on the other team, he came up to the plate, and we were in the field, and our pitcher threw up a pitch, and he knocked it really hard, and it looked like it was going to be a home run. It was going to be close, but it took off flying into left field where my friend was, and man, he really he locked his eyes on it, and he started tracking. He was running, just sprinting after that ball to catch it, and you know, he was looking at the ball and running, and he didn't pay attention to where the fence was. And you know, we were just in some little community field. I know, like Major League Baseball parks and fancy parks, they have the warning track to let you know. You feel the difference when you're getting to by the fence. But we were in some little community field. It didn't have any warning track, and he was just running, sprinting as hard as he could to catch that ball. And man, he slammed into that chain link fence trying to catch that ball. I mean, it was a massive collision. From my spot at first base, I thought, oh no, he's really hurt, because he really slammed hard into that fence. And after the game was over, after we concluded the game, I saw him with a bunch of ice packs strapped on his shoulder. And his arm was already completely black and blue. And I went over to him and I said, "Man, how you doing?" I said, that had to have hurt. How you feeling? And this is his quote. He said, "I'd feel a lot better if one of my buddies had warned me that I was getting near that fence." And that is 100% true. That's what teammates were supposed to do. Someone should have yelled at him, "You're getting close to the fence," but no one said anything to him. When I was in high school on a basketball team, and we were taught you had to do a lot of talking and communicating to each other, especially when someone set a pick. Because, you know, if you're focused on your defensive player and you're playing defense on a guy, some guy sneaks over, sets a pick on you, and you don't see it, and you're moving sideways, you can really get hurt. And so you'd have to yell, "Pick on your right or pick on your left." And we were constantly communicating to each other in order to protect each other. It was a way to protect one another as teammates so that we wouldn't get hurt. I remember one time I was playing football on the football team, and I was a guard, and so I had to pull off the line on a running play, and I was supposed to get out and block the outside linebacker. And so the snap happened, and I pulled, and I started heading out and I was focused on my block. I was focused on getting that outside linebacker. But what I didn't see, my blind side, I didn't notice their middle linebacker was coming right at me. He was going to take me out to free up the outside linebacker, but I didn't see it. But luckily, my offensive tackle, he yelled at me, "Stand, duck." And of course, I ducked immediately, and that middle linebacker flew just right over my head. He was about to spear me, and he was really going to hurt me. But thank goodness my tackle, my friend on the line, he told me to duck. In sports, that's what teams do. They look out for one another. Teams function best when they work together and communicate and help each other out. Injuries are avoided when teammates yell out to one another and warn each other of coming dangers. You know what, folks? Scriptures tell us that members of the body of Christ were designed to work together and to watch out for one another. Just like a sports team, God cares a lot about how we interact with each other, because the actions of one person in the family of God can impact the whole community of believers. We have to look out for one another to prevent spiritual injuries. And in Colossians chapter 3, in verses 13 through 14, Paul writes to the Colossians there, and he says, "Bear with each other, forgive one another if any of you has any grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgives you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. When a church family has a team of believers, when we all embrace opportunities to serve each other and to watch out for one another and be fully devoted, we're in unity and at peace for one another, then the church flourishes. The church will succeed when we're constantly in communication with each other, helping each other out, and being all together in perfect unity. Then in Colossians chapter 3, verse 15, Paul continues to write, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace, and be thankful." Paul goes on to instruct the readers there. He says, you are part of one body, you're one team. And so as one team, unified in perfect unity, we should look out for one another. Communicate with one another. Let each other know of impending dangers. Then Paul goes on to instruct the readers in verse 16. Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs from the Spirit. In this way, we can inspire and protect one another in the church family. We're supposed to be admonishing and teaching and sharing with one another. And so that's how the church can thrive. We inspire, we protect one another as a church family, as a team, through loving and honest relationships, obeying and praising God with grateful hearts, thriving together, protecting each other, just like a sports team does. I hope this inspires maybe for you to reach out and call one another and check on one another as a family. For that's what God calls us to be. Have a great day, Holmes Road. See you soon. Bye-bye.